Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So we already know what is coming, but that being said, there is the official notice from WFS. So around 24 hours from now, or in some cases with iOS being about 22 hours from now, we're going to see the second chapter in the Wryz Saga. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So my understanding is at the conclusion of, part 2, we will now have Wryz as a 5-star. It'll be interesting to see how she evolves, both in character development as well as her skill set. Hopefully, she's going to be powerful enough to augment your existing teams, whether or not it's a free team or even a free 3 free and 3 gacha unit team. Of course, we do also have a new unit on the right. She is part of the story. However, she is not free. She is gacha based. You can use free stones on her, or you can use a combination of free or paid, or just straight paid. All right, so let's go right into it. Melpifia. So Melpy, it definitely sounds very, very cute. If you want to learn more about her move set or her kit, definitely watch the Another Eden Global official channel. Scott did go over a few things and had some screenshots. What you need to know, at least at this point, is she is a Wind Prayer user. She can also set Wind Zone with a move, which is very, very nice. So, I mean, we had Alter Suzette, which is obviously another version of my waifu. I mean, Melpy can be my waifu, I guess, as well. I mean, I do find partiality to Wind teams. But not only that, she sets zone. She has a lot of very useful offensive and defensive buffs and kit. Her attacks can actually be very similar to a Sora, although she is not a tank. It can apply 30-30 debuff up to 60-60. She has 2 different prayers which can be activated, and it also gets more powerful depending on the conditions, aka you either take attacks or don't take attacks. And so she's also kind of got a unique buff, very similar to ES Tuva, where she doesn't get targeted nearly as much. So by doing that, remember that in prayer, if you get hit by any damage on your HP, even for 0, then you actually get kicked out of prayer. You can reinstate it. And also, HP shields will help. Now, of course, this is a new unit and therefore has an SA form. So I'll talk about more of my thoughts of her power and usefulness in my Should You Summon Tomorrow. But at least she does have the 2 prayer songs. One is offensive minded, one is defensive minded, plus that dual debuff. And if you Stellar Awaken her, she does have an HP shield, as well as other things like status clear, debuff clear, and so forth. So extremely useful and powerful support unit. Doesn't bring much in terms of DPS, but you don't really expect that with a support unit of that nature. Alright, so of course this is going to be a completely new version, 3.5.50 instead of 1.5, and so it will be in the App Store or the Play Store. It looks like it's going to be very similar to other Mythos or Apocrypha dungeons. Each one will have its own dungeon. I imagine that you're still grinding for Wryz Light? I can't remember anymore. It's been so many, there are so many units out there. But yes, once you finish Chapter 2, then you can have another dungeon. You should have new gear, either new weapons or whatnot. Hope you have been grinding the first dungeon for some fairly unique armor. I'll say it right here. Defensively speaking, those pieces of armor aren't too impressive. They're actually quite weak in defensive nature. However, they trade that off by having some type res, but more importantly, 200 MP. So for units that are dependent on that, especially magic units with their mental focus, or physical units such as Sesta and some of the newer units like Alter Kane and so on and so forth that have singular focus, aka physical focus, more MP equals more DPS. So you're trading defense for DPS, and we all know that damage reigns supreme. Highly recommend grinding some of those pieces of armor and gear from the first one if you haven't really done that yet. Also, if you haven't finished or started Wryz Saga, because you're new to the game, or you just haven't had time like some of my kids, then if you do finish it while a campaign is running, I believe you get the same rewards that we did for finishing it before the new year, which is, I think it's like 500, 250, and 250 for the 3 chapters within the saga part 2 or part 1. And so I'm wondering if part 2 will also have 3 different chapters, each of which rewarding some sort of stone reward. So, we all need more stones, and that would be great. Also, keep in mind that as of tomorrow's update and logins, I believe everyone gets more logins for a set number of days, just like before. All right, so of course we do have the Fateful Encounter standard stuff, 3 times max, guessing 0.8% pulls 1 to 9, and of course 10% flat chance on pulls 10. And just like all other units already, we know that the pickup bonus is available, so you get 3 out of 3 awakening gauges if you hit the 1 version, and of course an extra 10 light shadow points, aka 26 instead of 16 if you hit the 5-star twice. So pretty good, helping you to augment your SA board if you're into that thing, or if you're happen to be fortunate enough to hit 1 or more versions of Melpi. Okay, now don't forget that as much as we are celebrating the merger of Japan's server to global, so all players have the same server, the same release of updates, and the same kind of fresh information and battles, we are kind of celebrating the older global first units. On year 2 we had Melissa, and then of course Eva was year 3, or actually year 3, and then Efi was year 4, which was last year, and this is our 5th anniversary for global. As a result, Melissa does have a SA release, a retro release, so I imagine it'll be the same thing, 400 Sabirus gems times 2. Make sure you do have your 5-star Melissa before this update hits tomorrow if you happen to have a 4.5. Don't save the chance. You're much better off using 5 chance and then getting credit of 1 out of 3 awakening gauges rather than waiting for that. And that should apply for all future releases unless otherwise noted. Now, there are paid banners that will give you basically 1 specific star chart, so you'll save 400 Sabirus, and you'll also hit an extra Melissa for sure, which is an extra 16 shadow, which also gives you 1 out of 3. So remember that these, for 1,000 paid stones, you essentially are buying 2 star chart equivalents plus 16 shadow on Melissa. Very, very valuable if you're into that thing and want to save some, use money to kind of save on Sabirus gems. No free version, unfortunately. And specifically on this banner, they're really pushing value for people who are willing to spend. I wish that free players get this banner, but you can see not. On the 10th encounter, you can have an 8% rate on each of these Stellar Awakened units, which will, by the way, only add 1 out of 3 gauges, but they are the newest 3 normal style SA units, the other 2 being AS Alma and ES Philly. Okay, so pretty interesting value there. We also do have the re-anniversary, so you can re-encounter Eva and Efi at a 50-50 rate. It is paid. You can only do it once, so you're gambling. Eva, not bad. Efi, quite good. I mean, yeah, there's that. We'll talk about this more tomorrow, but a lot more banners. And of course, the ways we walked around 9, you see some really powerful recent units, including Chainsaw Girl, Sesta Did Good, Perfection, Orlea, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, again, all paid banners, nothing for us free players. And of course, standard Melpi banner, which will be, normal. You can pay for a free banner for Melissa as well. Not guaranteed by any stretch, and we'll look at the odds tomorrow. I'll talk about that myself. And this is something I'm going to be interested in tomorrow. Keep in mind, we do have a new manifest, which is also Melissa, and that coincides with reworking her kit. So current moves are as such, and obviously the damage for old Melissa is very low relatively, she's 3 years old, but they are revamping her kit. Check out the live stream for more information as to what they're adding to her kit. And when you essay her, or if you're essaying her, she'll get an essay move, essay gauge, and so on and so forth. So really interested in how that performs. And if you're wondering, I still haven't decided what I think about her SA version. Not sure if I want to invest 800 gems, Subiras on her. I'll have to consider that tonight and give you my thoughts tomorrow evening. But definitely, I'm going to prioritize doing the manifest first, leveling it up over 2 or 3 hours in the frogs or wherever I want to go before starting the Wryz Saga 2. So watch for that fight at least, and I think that will be it for tomorrow night for me. It's going to actually be a long day. Have an early day, dropping off my kid for skiing, and then a full work day. Weekend's also busy, so such is life. All right, so if you have those units, you can replay these quests, which is actually quite nice. Some of the recent quests are up here, so if you already have the unit, you can replay it. If you don't, then you'll still have to watch it on YouTube, and hopefully you watch my channel for some of those character quests as opposed to the other content creators. I mean, it's not that they're bad or anything, it's just, gotta pump your own tire, so to speak. Okay, so I haven't even done this road to Mocha Pontus, so I really should do that. And some of these other quests. But it is nice that you can actually replay these subquests, because I'm sure there's a lot of cool things that they kind of feature, and since you don't get to replay them, then you'll forget some of the story. Now, last thing, don't forget about the cat equipment, and remember, if you're free to play, you can still earn these cat coins in a lesser version or lesser amount than if you had a paid subscription. You can do that with the Miglin's Theater, and I do have a Back to Basics video about your monthly kind of tasks where you do earn a few chronostones, your monthly all Cosmos star chart, and so on and so forth. And I highly recommend you, if you haven't watched the video and you want to learn more, you can do so. And if you already know, then just make sure you do all those monthly tasks in the trials tab every month so that you get your rewards. Oh! How come we don't get this, guys? How come, oh, actually now we're all getting this. I did not realize that they had extra matching sets that we did not. So I guess they're loading them all into this build. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I still have my cat completely dressed up as Suzette, so I don't really have any complaints anyways. But for all of you who have different waifus or husbandos or a combination, or just want to dress up your cat in different ways, not bad. Lots of extra mix and match, show off your style points in the cat equipment, and that's kind of cool, actually. All right, speaking about Melissa and talking about her moves, all her crystal moves, which is the one that adds break, will increase in damage based on speed, because I think her Glint Gale was already damaged based on speed, so that's going to be really interesting and plays along with her SA and her special mode as well. More on that later. Now, guaranteed pain setter and poison, I guess, which is interesting. I'm not sure how much this damage is going to be, because obviously no one's played these units, and so I'm looking forward to the gurus out there to data mine or test out the DPS, because let's be honest, if her DPS is quite increased, then it might be worthwhile to side grade just to have extra access to a Crystal SA DPS or just some of her special abilities. And let's be honest, she's still only one of the first few Flash Strike stance users. I mean, Serene AS being very limited, but really her and AS Hardy are really the only two. I know that zone settings are a thing, but hey, the Flash Strike, don't forget, increases damage by 30% and extends AF charge by 10% per hit instead of 7.5. So there are advantages inherent to Flash Strike, and so hopefully this revitalizes Melissa to do a lot more than before. So again, really interesting to see her effect. The power in speed down 30 is also really interesting. However, I will have to say, why not just give her 50? Because, I mean, everyone has minus 50 at this point anyways. She also has KMS, and there is a KMS Grasta. So something to either have her share Grasta or have someone share for her. And there are some fixes in, so on and so forth. So just a few fixes, and you can read that on your own since that's not the exciting news. So let me know in the comments below how much you've budgeted for Melpy, how excited you are for the Saga Part 2, and more importantly, Are you going to SA Melissa or not? Because let's not talk about Melissa. We know that she was extremely broken and changed the meta many years ago, and I'm wondering if she's going to do the same again now. Anyways, I'll see how the update goes and try to do at least the Melissa fights tomorrow evening and see how that goes. Looking forward to it. Good luck as usual on all people who are summoning, and we'll see you probably tomorrow evening in the Should You Summon videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.